Guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm basically just going to be doing a sort of quick tutorial on how you can make custom fences. So we are in my sandbox structure building zoo, which is where I come when I can't like think of what I want to build, or I'm having a bit of builder's block. So behind that wall over there is just like a load of just random crap that we're not going to look at today because we're going to just focus on these fence pieces. So all of these fence pieces can be found on the workshop under my profile. Um, Essentially what I've done is I've made two different packs. So obviously with the Ice Palace build that I did recently, I put all the fences into a pack so people can use them, take them apart, stuff like that. They're designed so that you can just copy and paste them. And then we also have some other builds over here. We have these which were from Alphabet Zoo, and this one here was from Tropico. This one was from West Haven Wild Animal Park, which I made in Sandbox, which I haven't shown you guys yet. I will definitely be doing some tours. But this was Alphabet Zoo, this one over here is Alphabet Zoo, Alphabet Zoo, Alphabet Zoo, Alphabet Zoo, and this was just a general one I made ages ago. And we also have the log tunnel. Now, it's not quite a fence, but it can act like a fence, and I just think it's quite interesting to kind of see what things you can build. And often I think when you're actually looking at things to build and things that you want to build with, it's a case of like working out what pieces you have. So I recently discovered that the Australia pack pieces, as you can see, make fantastic like little light up fences, which I think are really, really cool. So if you've got a nighttime zoo or a zoo kind of in the Arctic where it tends to be dark a lot, you might want paths you might want fences that like light up the paths as people walk past the fences. So as you can see here, we have several different types. So this one is the same Australia pack piece that's just kind of repeated in a pattern like this. We have over here, I'll just turn the light on for the next one. It's probably going to be really bright, yeah. Then this one is just icicles. So this is literally icicles that are pressed into these kind of big chunky pieces. So again, you can access all the ice pieces by sorting like by material and going ice and snow and just clicking the infinity symbol here. And it just means you can see all the ice pieces. So you'll get all the icicles up, but you'll also get these kind of chunky pieces here, which can make some this can make quite an interesting, fence post, things like that. There's not too many thin pieces. These are sort of the thinnest ice pieces, which kind of makes sense because ice is quite a chunky material to work with anyway. So yeah, so we have that one. That's one example. And then we have these two, which this one uses the big curvy piece. So that one over there uses the small curvy piece, as you can. Oh no, it uses the big one actually. That's just sunk into the ground. So that one I sunk it into the ground. And with this one, I tipped it on its side and had it go like that. And obviously, again, all these Australia pieces have a colour editor, so you can change the colour of them. You can make the light yellow. So if we go back to nighttime now, you'll see that now kind of glows yellow rather than blue. But yeah, so you can get some interesting effects with these Australia pieces. And like I think it's just a good sort of demonstration to show you kind of what you can do with these Australia pack pieces to make fences out of. So here we have like a wave, which could be good for say like a penguin habitat, or you could make it green and yellow and have it for like a hippo habitat, like an underwater kind of habitat, so it looks like water. And again, like this one also looks kind of like water, and it's kind of wavy, so you can sort of get a feel for kind of maybe what you're trying to show off in your habitat. So if it's a water habitat, maybe you want some kind of wavy pieces. Over here, now these are the pieces I built for my Snow Leopard Palace, which is the competition piece that I have built for Paulsley's competition. So I built this fence specifically to go on the ramparts, and again, this is just the Australia pack pieces, but if we take it apart and just click on all the individual pieces, you can see that all these are just one piece. So I'm going to show you how I made something similar to this in a little bit. And then if we go back to daytime, I'll be able to talk you through some of these other pieces we have. So this fence over here, this is simply just one panel, one like wooden plank that has just been, I went through and I built an entire line like that, and then I kind of duplicated it behind. This is just obviously a very, very simple elephant fence, I like to call, like a very just rusty elephant fence. And there's just so many different things you can do in the game. I mean, this one over here was just some metal rusty rods just popped into the ground with then these like the African twisted branches. So yeah, so there's a lot you can do, and you know, you can have small fences like this little one over here. If we just sort out get the terrain paint, so you can actually see that better because it's so small. It's just like being buried in the grass. And then we have this one over here, which this one is an African pot, and then like the concrete African branches that are like the really fake branches. So like again, so we're gonna have a go at making a couple of fences today just to kind of show you what you can do. So I'm just gonna literally do it really, really random. I have got a pygmy hippo habitat coming up, I think, in Alphabet Zoo. That'll be probably one of the next ones I'm going to build. So we'll go to construction, we'll tick off snow and ice, and let's have a look at... So I'm going to start off with a base piece. So I want a piece that is essentially going to be my base. I quite like the yellow actually. I'm feeling yellow today. So we're going to pop that there, and then as you can see, we've sort of got these shapes that are sort of, that's the kind of actual fence bit, and these are just the fence posts. So we've got a nice big yellow block here to help me out. That's too thick. That's too thick. I think we might need something along the lines. Here we go. So we have something along the lines of these kind of rusty pods. Now that is probably the perfect height that I want it to be. Okay, so now that we've got our base in place, which is this yellow block here and then this rusty rod here, we are gonna go to all, and we're gonna search by Australia, and then we're gonna go for wall decorations. So this brings up all of these funky little pieces that we have, and we want these ones. We want the Australia signs that are these, like you've got the triangles, you've got the curves, and we've got these ones. So I want this one. I don't like the colours that it is. I think we're going to go for a green and like maybe a dark orange. I'm not quite sure about the green. Darker green, there we go. So I like how that looks. So essentially we want to get this kind of as lined up as possible to the fence post, and I am just gonna click that in there and then press X, and this brings up the advanced menu. And right, so I need to press X again, and we're gonna make sure the angle snap is on, so it goes, that's the wrong one, so it goes like that. So we're gonna okay that, and we're gonna just press X again to kind of move that in. Now as you can see, it's not aligned up properly, and this isn't too much of an issue because I mean, you know, your fences are probably not going to be going in a complete straight line anyway. They're going to be going around all sorts of like circles and things like that, but for this, the purpose of this, I'm going to make sure that it is lined up. So now I am going to just put on my angle snap, and I'm going to rotate this kind of like that. So you can essentially create like any kind of pattern you want with this. So we have, let's see what patterns we have. So we have this one, which is, this is literally just these at different angles like this. It's really, it's like, you could probably create that quite easily yourself, just by messing around with it. I don't want to go like, you know, completely spoon feed you with this, because I think a lot of it you have to learn yourself and practice with. But I think, again, sometimes it's just good to see how things are deconstructed so you can work out like what you want to do yourself. So we're going to undo that piece. We're going to build something new. So we've got waves over here that are going up. So let's maybe do something similar, but upside down. So we're going to do it all like that. Now, this will be where the post connects here. So this side, when we copy and paste it over, that'll be where it connects. So we don't really want to go into too much detail there. But now we've got our bottom three in. So we're going to move these over like that. We're going to make sure they're aligned like perfectly. And then we're going to move that one over there. And then we're just going to create a pattern here really. So we can move this over like so. And you will be getting some overlapping with the fence. Now again, depending on like what you're building, the overlapping might look good or it might not. So often you will build something like this and then you will start to try and overlap it and you'll be thinking, nah, I've got to go back and redo that. And you know what, that's fine, that's all part of the creative process. If you find yourself doing that, then you know what, I can tell you I've done that thousands of times. So we're going to bring that up there. We're going to bring that one there, and then we're going to bring that one into the middle there. So, right, that is essentially our light fence done. So if we turn it to nighttime now, you can see that you'll have like a nice kind of yellow glow. That's sort of like those over there. So if we then move it back to daytime, group these kind of together, all of this together, and we press this the little tree with a plus on it, we can then Control X to duplicate and copy, and we can copy this over like so. Now this isn't entirely lined up with the grid, so it's on a slight squiffy angle, so I have to make sure it's much more lined up, and then we can line those up like so, and you'll end up with like a repeating pattern. And again, it essentially, like, you just have to tweak it as you build your own kind of fences with this. And that's kind of it really. That's how I built those Australia fences over here for my Arctic builds, because I really like how they look. And again, you can create circles, you can create any shapes you want. Like they're going to be bendy, and I just think they always look really, really cool like that. So yeah, I will leave you to it now, guys. I think the rest are pretty much self-explanatory. You've just got to try stuff out. As I said, this was an African pot with bits of wood. We have just rope and some small logs. If you sink things into the ground, you can just get the tips of things and make it look even cooler. And yeah, just stuff like that. So anyway, I will see you in the next one, and take care, guys.